of NDA swinging votes towards them. That's Jyotiraditya Scindia, Union Minister. Also, 2-3 votes we have already spoken about where they could come for the NDA, whether it is Swati Maliwal or Amrit Pal. Rashid Engineer is one from Jammu and Kashmir, the Member of Parliament who is also in prison. We will have to wait and see how their votes are counted and which way do they go. That is something that the NDA possibly could hope that would increase their tally. But let me, just for the sake of argument, let me turn this around. If in the end, Jayantuda, let's say the opposition alliance, which is hoping for about 320, 321 votes, if they are able to increase it by any number of votes, if they are able to go up to 325, will the opposition take big solace in that? Will they be, what kind of a message do you see the opposition coming out if that happens?
Yeah, Ankit, that's a very good question, because, the election today, this vice president election is not restricted to the vice president election only. Now it has some national politics. I mean, the implications of this election in the national politics. What you are saying, that if opposition parties, and that was the idea, that whether victory or defeat, but if we can consolidate ourselves, if we can increase our votes, and then we can create an impact against, the Modi government, and that will be the success story of the opposition parties. But unfortunately for the opposition parties, I am not seeing that mobilization. If you want to get that result for opposition, that was the idea was great, but you have to implement the idea. And the other side, what BJP is doing, I don't know what will be the result, what will be the consequence, but the effort that you are giving responsibilities to the ministers, member of parliament, state-wise mobilization. And, although Kejriwal said that we will vote for opposition, but afterwards, a lot of interaction was there. And now what we are getting the information that 10 MPs in Rajya Sabha and the AAP will be maybe, there will be a break. So these are the possibilities. Always there's a lot of possibilities. BJP is not, over-satisfied that we have won the election. So there is no need for effort. And the other side, Congress.
Right. Tara, there is breaking news coming in. I'll have to quickly cut across to that. Sharad Pawar, NCP Sharad Pawar has slammed the BRS and the BJD, those who have decided to abstain from the voting in the vice presidential election. Remember, 4 from the BRS, 7 from the BJD. That is a total of 11 member of parliament, those who are not expected to vote as far as this election are concerned. 11 crucial votes could have sent out some message, whichever way they would have gone. And now NCP Sharad Pawar has said that both are friends with the BJP and asked why the BRS, BJD are abstaining. They have said that ask BJP why both of them are abstaining. All right, my colleague Anuj Raite is joining us from Mumbai with more details on this. Anuj, Sharad Pawar, NCP Sharad Pawar, hitting out at both these parties which have decided to abstain. Interestingly, BJD in Odisha lost power at the hands of the BJP, and despite that, they have decided to abstain and, in a sense, have helped the NDA.
Ankit, it becomes an important point because when you talk about the role of NCP Sharad Pawar party, they have been at the forefront of mobilizing as much support as possible from states in and around Maharashtra and close by regions. You know that when Sudershan Reddy was in Mumbai, it was Sharad Pawar's party leaders who were taking him across to different party offices and were also establishing contact with the other southern parties as well. Which is why this omission or abstaining of BJD and BRS from voting one of the parties which, as you said earlier, directly lost to the Bharatiya Janata Party in Odisha, while the other party had led a very scathing campaign against the BJP during the Telangana elections. Both of them taking a soft spot for the Bharatiya Janata Party has been highlighted by Sharad Pawar's party. In fact, when we were speaking to the opposition leaders in Maharashtra yesterday, they were very hopeful of the fact that a lot of these parties which are not necessarily associated with either the NDA or India Alliance will come out in support of the candidate which has been put into fray by the India Alliance because of the outreach that has been done in the last couple of weeks. But this proves two points. Firstly, that outreach has clearly not worked out completely in favor of the India Alliance parties, and the disappointment is there to be seen amongst these top parties. And on the other hand, as Sharad Pawar's party leader Supriya Sule also pointed out, there seems to be some sort of a backdoor communication between the Bharatiya Janata Party and between some of these crucial parties which are regional in their presence, where their votes would not be counted for the vice presidential elections.
Right, Anuj, thank you for joining us with those important details coming in from Maharashtra. Uma ma'am, let me come to you at this moment. Whether it is the Congress party or now also Mr. Sharad Pawar, his party was trying to make this outreach to all the other parties which are not in the NDA, slamming the BRS and the BJD. For the BRS, the insinuation possibly also would be that, listen, there are so many ED cases, this and that, and that's why they are saying, ask the BJP. So it puts the BRS, at least at this moment, in the firing line of both the NDA and the opposition.
Absolutely. The BRS is in a tight spot, really, I must say, because they cannot go with the India bloc, with the Congress, because that is the main political rival here. And even though they are a party which is said to have, come into being to promote the Telangana cause, and Sudershan Reddy happens to be from Telangana itself, someone whose credentials cannot be in that sense questioned, but they cannot go with them. And not voting with the NDA is something that they have explained away, but this is being seen as being pro-NDA by not voting at all in this particular election. Even otherwise, their compulsions here, the kind of rumors that have been coming around, the sister Kavita of K.T. Ramarao also alleging about a possible friendship or alliance between the BJP and the BRS, all that has done enough political harm for the BRS, and therefore they would certainly stay away from voting along with the NDA. But staying away, also they are getting all this criticism from a Jairam Ramesh, from a Renuka Chaudhary, from a Sharad Pawar, all of who are calling out the BRS, saying that you are actually voting in favor of the NDA candidate by staying away from this particular election. Of course, K.T. Ramarao has lashed out at Jairam Ramesh, and he has said that, it's this kind of an arrogant attitude of the Congress that you look at everything as a binary, you're with us or you're with them, and we want to keep that neutral political space. He's speaking about a non-aligned kind of an equidistant space from both the Congress bloc as well as the BJP bloc, and saying that this is how we have done our politics in the past, and we are an A team of Telangana and not a B team of either the Congress or of the BJP. So yes, the BRS is in a tight spot, but that's what this election has done, hasn't it? I mean, even though their 4 numbers may not really matter for the outcome of the election, they are all forced to take a public stance in this particular election, and therefore their future political kind of line that they will be taking, or whose friendship they would seek, that is something that's become obvious, whether it's the YSR-CP or the BJD or now the BRS.
That's right. In fact, let me bring in Vasudha as well on this. Vasudha, while NCP Sharad Pawar slams the BRS and the BJD, it's also interesting, and I was reading that Mr. Devendra Fadnavis in Maharashtra has been tasked to reach out to MPs of the NCP Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray camp to try and see if he can bring in some MPs to vote for the NDA. They have to guard their own house and then also make sure that they reach out to others as well.
Right, Ankit, if you yeah, that's right, Ankit. If you remember, CP Radhakrishnan is the governor of Maharashtra, and he has actually been the governor of Maharashtra when the opposition was ruling the state. Specifically, Uddhav Thackeray was there, and he did manage that state really well for the centre, which is why Devendra Fadnavis was given this responsibility of reaching out to all the Mahayuti and, of course, the other allies, the opposition allies. And what really emerged is that every party wants to at least vote on ideological lines, does not want want to weaken the alliance that it belongs to, and that clearly is a sign of the times to come. It's also a reflection of the politics, the way it is changing right now, especially after 2024 Lok Sabha elections, where parties want to stick to their alliance. And even Mamata Banerjee this time, you see, did during parliamentary protests, her party was one of those vocal protesters. And this time, TMC is also playing an active role in ensuring that Sudershan Reddy gets all the votes that he can get from the opposition bloc. And this is very different from what we saw during Jagdeep Dhankar's time, where people were very upset with the way Margaret Alva was nominated as the vice presidential candidate, and they believe that it was just the CPM and Congress that decided this. A lot of these opposition allies did feel left out. When it comes to this time, Sudershan Reddy has been nominated, and all the opposition allies are working towards ensuring that he gets those numbers. But remember, with the NDA, at least 120, 130 MPs more than what the opposition has, it clearly is going to be a clear victory. And the victory celebrations have also been planned at Prahlad Joshi's house in the evening, and that's where all the leaders are going to gather. So it's going to be an entire day affair, with the BJP trying to send out this message that its consolidated strategy works best. And when it comes to number crunching, when it comes to strategy, really nobody can beat the NDA and the BJP even now.
That's right. In fact, like I said, in the end, the bottom line would be the kind of numbers that both the sides get, and from there will erupt, of course, or at least there will be a lot of conclusions and political messages being drawn. But at this moment, Sharad Pawar's party slamming the BRS and the BJD, those who have decided to abstain from the voting, crucial 11 votes, which could have gone in the kitty of the opposition. If the reach out possibly could have been the kind of reach out that we've seen from the NDA also, to try and go across the aisle and get a lot of support for their candidate, despite having comfortable victory numbers. That also tells you the way both sides have approached this election. Rajat Sethi, good morning and welcome, is joining us at this moment, political analyst. We also have Sajjan Kumar, who is also a political analyst. Gentlemen, thank you so much and welcome to NDTV. Rajat, let me ask you this. Like I said, I think in the end, the whole the bottom line would be the victory margin. I mean, it's not going to be a surprise of who wins this election, but by how many votes is possibly is going to tell a story as far as this entire election is concerned.
I agree with you, and I think the body language in the run-up to this election day, you look at the two camps, the NDA camp on one side and the India Alliance, there is a stark difference. The NDA Alliance has done workshops, training workshops, have deliberated in the morning itself. Every single member of parliament has been, has been huddled together in one or the other senior leader's house for breakfast meeting. So clearly you can see that appetite within the NDA to carry on even after 10, 11 years. They don't want to give a square inch of political space to the opposition party. And what we are seeing repeatedly is that Rahul Gandhi, again, when look at what happened for the past 1 year. Even in the run-up to this election, we were seeing Mallikarjun Kharge and the other spokespersons of the Congress party, they were claiming that within 6 months, Narendra Modi government is going to fall and Modi ji will have to leave. And when the rubber hits the road, it is this day. This is where they could have, pulled out a surprise and tried to corner the government. And look at how fragmented the opposition is. So therefore, talking and constantly talking and trying to come up with these wild political claims, when it actually starts to matter, you are nowhere to be seen. And this has been the story repeatedly for 10 years. We've seen this from the opposition. They're not united. They're really not serious. When it actually matters for them to actually huddle together, pull in all the punches possible, then they are seeing in wanting, and we are seeing that their key leader is out of country in Malaysia, chilling around and not worrying about this election, which is anyway a done deal. Even if it is a done deal, they should have used this window of opportunity to corner the government in numerous ways. If at all they claim, and they seriously claim, that there are a lot of internal squabbles within the NDA. And I don't see them putting in the required amount of effort. Everything is done largely, just that there is a process. Let's do a conscious call and leave it at that. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Politics doesn't work like that.
Sajjan, has we are ad nauseum talking about how because it is an important election for the government. It's just about 50 days from that shock resignation of former Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar. It has come after 2024 election where the numbers possibly for the NDA, for the BJP, not as much as they would have expected. The opposition, felt that they have been able to, in fact, pin the BJP down in one way or the other with the vice presidential resignation as well. It seemed that the NDA went in with full might. They wanted to, in fact, show that post this election, if they are able to get some numbers from the opposition camp, that they are firmly in control. What happened in 2024 is now in the rear-view mirror. It's something that they don't want to, in fact, discuss. They have overcome whatever perceived setback that they had. But the opposition, what was the message that they were trying to derive? One theme could be that right from 2024, they are speaking about Samvidhan Khatre mein hai, and then they made it Sangh versus Samvidhan. Does that, do you see that kind of effort from the opposition to at least try and put the NDA in a spot of bother as far as this election is concerned?
Yes, precisely, because the optics, if you see NDA and the India Alliance, it's clear. For NDA and particularly led by BJP, the optics still is a continuation of the strategy wherein they are trying to reach out to the marginalized section. The marginality could be the spatial marginality. You pick people from the northeast or the caste and community sections, reaching out to Dalits, tribals, etc. And that we also see this time they have gone for a regional balance, and therefore Radhakrishnan belongs to Tamil Nadu, and that is one of the consideration to send a message that representational optics is well catered to. On the other hand, if you see India Alliance, therein still they are going with Samvidhan Khatre mein hai, Constitution in danger narrative, and thereby it's a consistent effort to always pinpoint entire strategy to the optics of Constitution. So that way the strategies and optics are clear. Now the question is it going to bring something to the kitty of opposition? Because the Constitution narrative, which worked for, to some extent, India Alliance, say in Maharashtra and UP, did not work in Maharashtra Assembly election. Now, vice presidential election could have been, even if they know that numbers are stacked against them, they could have chosen certain different optics in terms of representation, catering to the marginalized section, because you find a contradiction and inconsistency in the India Alliance wherein Rahul Gandhi is talking about 90 versus 10, marginality, Dalits, OBCs. When it comes to pick a face, the representational optics, they are still going to the Constitution narrative. So that way you do not see a very synchronized effort. So in terms of the strategy, it's diametrically opposite. NDA is consistent with representational optics. There is a consistency. There is a synchronized effort.
Okay.
While among the India Alliance, you find, the inconsistencies. They have too many optics. They are not able to decide at what juncture, at what event, what arena, which optics to prefer, and why so. So that way, yes, you find divergent strategies. Consistency is on the side of the NDA.
But Rajat, okay, let me bring you in, Rajat. But for the solace as far as the opposition is concerned, could they not come up with the argument that, listen, last time Mamta did not, she walked out, and that gave a resounding victory as far as Mr. Dhankar is concerned. This time, the loss would not be, as dramatic as it was in 2002. We have been able to keep the key constituents of our alliance together, and that's, how we would want to look at this election.
No, good luck to them if they think it this way. But, this is a very defeatist argument. You've already accepted defeat. And then you are cajoling yourself saying that, hey, we just managed to keep our stock together, half of it. See, when you are acting as a challenger, these are not the words of a challenger. When you are doing that, you move across the aisle, try and pull out members. Look at on the other side. Look at the morning statements coming in from some of the top BJP ministers. They are saying that there will be cross voting, and we will see Congress MPs coming out and voting for the NDA's candidate for multiple reasons. And this is how you go out, attack in the in their houses and try and pull their members and try to have a convincing victory way beyond the numbers would suggest. But look at Congress party. First of all, you want to make it a constitutional position. Then you have a retired Supreme Court justice in the same frame as a convict who is Mr. Lalu Yadav. Now, this in itself belittles the entire narrative around constitution. How long can you peddle, deeply internally inconsistent images together, and how long are you going to carry that? You have to do that extra bit. You have to walk the talk. You have to ensure that in certain states where India Alliance members are fracturing, you can keep them together. Right now, the gaze is on Maharashtra. The gaze is on Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray is non-committal. So I don't see that if they're just trying to handle one side on the West Bengal side, Maharashtra is up basically is up for anybody's guess right now. So the entire problem here is that, the leader of opposition did not take this election that seriously. He should have sat together with every single leader, try and